David Jacobson, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, Fran. Thank you. How you
Yeah,
doing?
I think I'm great, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm excited to talk to you. Jamie Roberts has said so many awesome things about you, and just ready to dive in and learn more. So you're part of a band or organization that you founded called Neil Diamond Forever, or Neil Forever, right?
Neil forever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess you grew up in Queens and Long Island, is that right?
I was the early part of my life till about 14 was in Queens, and then
Okay.
I moved out to Long Island. So my heart and my soul and my Queens people are very to me after over years and years of meeting other people. There's a certain element of type person that grew up in Queens.
Right.
We could sniff each other out. We know when we're with a brotherhood.
Right, 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 right.
But yeah,
So when
so
did,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
why.
when did,
That's
yeah, when did music become more than just a calling card for you?
Well, my brother played the guitar. My older brother, is 8 years older than me ish, and he played the guitar. He gave me his '67 Gibson ES 330 when I was probably 6, and I fiddled around with it. And again, I never became a great guitar player. I wrote songs and I sang and I did play the guitar, and I played the piano a little bit. But so it's at that age that I started to, enjoy music and enjoy the guitar, at that age. And that guitar, I still have that guitar today.
Oh my, that thing's probably worse than bucks.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things. It's priceless because I'll never sell it. But it's not a
Yeah.
335; it's a 330. So
Oh,
obviously,
okay.
the 335 is worth like 12 grand now. This is probably a $6,000 guitar. It's
It's
beautiful.
funny you say that model guitar because in my film Hired Gun, I was telling you off air about, I interviewed a guitarist named Jay Graydon, who is one of the legendary session guys in LA with Steve Lukather and Lee Ritenour and Ray Parker Jr. and all those guys. But I had him re-record the guitar solo in Peg from Steely Dan, and that was him that played the solo.
Oh, is that right?
He broke out the same amp that he recorded it 45 years ago, including his Gibson ES 335, same guitar. He used it and ripped the solo, man. I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. And this is like, it should be in a museum, right? And I'm looking at it in person at his house.
Unbelievable. And I'll tell you one thing. I never knew what my guitar player, his name is Glenn Gabberty, has an ES 335 reissue from the 80s.
Wow.
Which was done. The point is, it's the same guitar, same place it was built, same manufacturing method as the original, and I never realized how much better a 335 is compared to a 330. I mean,
Yeah.
I listen. I love my guitar, but I almost can't play it anymore.
Yeah.
It has the original machines. It's been on there. It doesn't go in tune, so I don't really use it much. But that 335, the feel of that guitar, the sound
Yeah.
is on another planet. That's why it's
It
so special.
is. Was
Yeah.
it there a was there a specific song or artist that really triggered you to want to become a musician, or just
You know
piqued your
what?
interest in music?
Yeah, I mean, I was Eric Clapton. My brother, again, was an influence. My brother was a lot older than me when we were younger, so my first concert was Eric Clapton and the blues, and
Wow.
I learned, I fell in love with that music and his style. And believe it or not, Leslie West was was one of the
Really,
guys that I loved. You know what I mean?
a
God rest his.
monster. He was a monster
Yeah,
player too, man.
it's just a certain, it's like when people speak and they sing. To me, like many other people, it's not unique to me, is they speak through the guitar, and there's a certain flavor that they get, that they may not be the greatest guitar player, although these guys are, but they just it resonates with me, the sound that they get out of the guitar. And Leslie West, I just always loved the sound, but that's what it was, the guitar, the blues. That's what got me really going with the music, and then it
Right.
moved.
We got to talk about your uh, philanthropy. I'm trying not to mess up the whole Tylenol thing with the. It's a hard word to say for me anyway. In your Parkinson's mission, I want to start off by saying I think it's wonderful what you're doing for Parkinson's, because I remember my sound guy that I use in all my films, the boom guy and lapel guy. His father had Parkinson's, and it took his life, and it was devastating for the family to see him struggle with that disease. Um, what was your path into to this?
I will tell you, I never want to come across as this wonderful, philanthropist. I wish I did more a longer time ago.
Right.
But I think my life journey. My father died with Parkinson's, and I saw him suffer. And there's people that suffer in different ways with Parkinson's,
Right.
and some people really shake and they get. My father kind of froze, and it was very hard to watch him not be able to really share and be who he was, and
Right.
it was kind of like the perfect storm here recently. Is I've been wanting something, to give back to get involved with, and Parkinson's has been on my radar for a long time because of my dad and Neil Diamond, and there was some type of kismet, something going on here when I met.
Right.
Deb Pollock is the founder of Drive Toward a Cure, which is the Parkinson's Association charity that we're going to be donating the money to from our tour. And her mom died with Parkinson's years ago, so it was just kind of like my father and Neil Diamond, and then I saw Neil Diamond in his interview with CBS, and that kind of really pushed me because I kind of was like, I was watching this guy in these concerts in Australia. It's just something watching the day before that special, walking on stage with 40,000 people, and he was just ready to give this grand performance, and it was exciting. He's walking on stage waving, and Coming to America, I think, was the first song. And
Right.
and then I saw this thing where he's barely he's just listen, I don't want to say anything, his family may see this, and he's probably still a vibrant, wonderful, articulate person, because nobody knows somebody struggles, but what you see is you judge it by. And he was just very meek and very, you see, he can't perform live anymore. So point is that when I just put all this together, it was the perfect opportunity to start to give back, as the band's growing with this big performance that we're going to be doing at the Greek Theater. There's going to be a lot of eyes on it, and I guess we'll talk about that. But so that's really what really started the Parkinson's. It's very close to home. It really was something close to my heart and in my family, and I'm hoping that we can make a big impact with this next year for this tour.
That would be wonderful. It's ironic. I don't want to say it's funny. It was ironic that today Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne released a cover of War Pigs. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
I good, yeah.
Yeah, but all the proceeds are going to go to Parkinson's research.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
Again, with Ozzy recently with his Parkinson's, and that's one of the things that's also very, very incredible for this whole thing is how many people, once you start to look into it and you start to do a little bit of research into the disease and all the people's lives that it affected. I mean, everyone knows Michael J. Fox and the people that are high profile in that work. But these people that live with it in different ways, all the celebrities and even people in your own personal life, it's just really incredible how many people's lives this touches. It's beyond what people really understand.
Yeah, yeah. When did you first learn that you sound incredibly like possessed by Neil Diamond? I was watching some of the videos earlier today, and I'm like, man, this guy really does sound like Neil.
Well, I was doing a church. I was singing in church one day years ago, and the pastor came up to me and he said to me, he says, you sound exactly like Neil Diamond. And I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of let it go. And I'm talking 20 years ago, so it's not like it was sitting on my mind. Oh, now I got to work with that. I forgot about it and went on. And then one day a friend of mine and I were playing some music in my office. We have a little studio there.
Right.
And we did a Neil Diamond song, and I was never a big Neil Diamond fan growing up. It wasn't like he was one of my top guys. I don't know what happened that I fell in love with his music later on, but and when I started singing Neil Diamond, even my friend's reaction, who played the drums at the time, was like, "Wow, this sounds a lot like Neil Diamond." And then I remembered that what this pastor said to me years ago, and then other people have made comments over the years, and it just, there you go. It was like the seed that planted, and then it was the right timing to start doing something, getting more serious about it, because I had some time, and here we are. It just started to snowball.
That's crazy, man. So what size venue? I mean, I know you're playing the Greek, which is pretty massive. Like, what other type of venue capacities are you guys hitting?
Well, I'm a pretty crazy person in the sense that I probably bite off more than I could chew. And I also probably go places I have no right to be. And you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? It's funny. There was a thing I saw with Elton John about a year ago, which was very clever and very smart. He says for bands, never play a venue bigger than you can handle, because you never want it to be empty. You always want it to look crowded. And then this way you look busy. And then the next, it's a good idea for bands, especially bands that are not tribute bands. I think it's more important for them. I think the next day after I saw that, we were playing in a huge venue that we had no right to be at. And I knew we weren't going to sell it out.
Right.
And I'm doing exactly the opposite of what we should be doing right now. And, so a lot of the path of people that do what we do, they do a bar, they'll do a little bit bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. I love doing this so much. I wanted to share it with as many people in the biggest venues possible. So I went with to the band, and we made some changes in the band, over the years. And we have a really tight, really wonderful band, people, not just musicians, but people. And I said to them that, because they know me, in business, I'm pretty driven and I'm reasonable, but I have big, plans usually, or else I won't do it. If it doesn't have an opportunity, I'm not stupid. Just let's not do it. But I said, we want to be as big as we can be as a tribute band. We're not Neil Diamond, and we're not this original artist where we're going to go and pack stadiums, but we can go to places and become the biggest Neil Diamond tribute band out there. And you look at Brit Floyd, Get the Let Out, and you look at these other bands. I went to see them in a 6,000 person arena, 4,000 person arena. So the point is I know that there's a limit. However, I wanted to achieve that. So we did everything we can. We went to the Paramount. We started off with smaller theaters. We bypassed all the small stuff. We went, which is not necessarily the smartest thing, but we went to these theaters like the Landis in Jersey, and maybe there was I think 600, 900 seats, and we did well there. And then we went to a place called the Milford Pack, which, believe it or not, of all the places that we've grown, I'm gonna say out of, they're wonderful, but sometimes you have to move on, and sometimes you stay with the theater. We keep going back to this wonderful theater called the Milford Pack in Connecticut. We'll be there in May, I believe. But anyway, and then we went. Then we the Paramount, which is the #1 venue in the world of its kind. Paramount in Long Island, which is called the Paramount Huntington. It's a Live Nation, and we pretty much almost sold it out. It's a local it's a local theater to us. It's not huge, 1,200 seats, but it's a wonderful place to play because you get a lot of notoriety. They're very respected. They're the Polestar. It's just a very respected venue. We did well, and they had us back. We did well again, and then we went to the Capital One Theater. I'm sorry, the Capital One Hall in Virginia, and then we did bigger. So more and more. So 1,200, 1,500, 1,200 seats, and we're doing pretty well in all those venues. It's not easy because Neil Diamond's not Led Zeppelin. Neil Diamond is not Billy Joel. Because they're much older. We have people that come in there that could be anywhere, maybe some in the 70s and 80 years old. So we are drawing a younger crowd than you would think, but there's a lot of older people there. So the point is that we're being very bold in where we play. But we played Sony Hall in New York City, packed it, sold it out. Ram's Head in Maryland, not a big venue, but sold out. But these are places that are just well known for musicality, for great artists, that travel in a really high level circuit. So and our agent kept us at the right places, brought us up a level, and we've done well in selling the tickets at these places. So we keep being bold. We keep going for bigger stuff in the Greek Theater. Either I'm going to be the craziest lunatic in the world and I'm going to be laughed at for the rest of my life, or we're going to accomplish something that is going to be epic.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think you'll do good, man. LA's got a really diverse crowd, and people love that guy. Neil Diamond, Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, all that kind of stuff. So
but the fact that it's at the theater where Neil Diamond did his concert in 1976, it was kind of frightening, a little scary, because we're going to be standing on the same stage as he did doing a show that's going to be a tribute to that show.
Right.
And that's where the Parkinson's, the funds are going to go from that show to this charity. But this is a big deal. 6,000 seats.
Yeah.
One of the world's most coveted venues, where Neil Diamond did it 50 years ago. So it's very exciting, very nerve-wracking, and we're here we go. The ball's in motion.
Yeah. So you said that this is more than just a tour; it's a mission of love, music, and hope. What does that mission look like day to day for you, putting these shows together?
Well, what we're trying to do here, and it's not easy. Those that are in the business here, know it. You don't. We're not, again, at a level where we're selling out 4,000 seat arenas. So the money sometimes for us is tight when we go to a venue. So getting a theater to participate, giving money towards tickets could be very challenging.
Right.
And then taking money out of what we get there's really not much, there. So, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I made a commitment that at some level we're going to give part of every ticket sale for the entire year, starting in January with the Paramount. We're going to give money for every ticket sold to this cause, and hopefully venues grow, ticket sales grow. But there's a big upside here for the charity. There's a big upside. Right. Raise a lot of money, a lot of awareness. So this is the mission. This is 2026. This is what it looks like.
Right. For me. Great. That's awesome. Have you had any fans or family members that are suffering with Parkinson's come up to you and give any kind of praise or anything like that after these shows?
This is kind of new. We're kind of starting to publicize it here. Again, my family, my dad, I have two brothers and a sister. My mother's 96. She's still alive. My mother, she's not 100% really with it these days, but she's in her own way, quietly enjoying, seeing the little videos they show her and stuff. But,
right.
There's, as time goes on here, there will be more and more people involved in this, and even family. I have a family who's a member who's in San Diego. I have a couple of members up in Northern California that are going to be participating in this at some level as well. The book has just been opened, and we're starting to write this story. And
nice.
So January is where it begins. We're hoping that people want to come see the show first and foremost, but also knowing that they're going to be play a part in something truly wonderful and special in giving back.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the show for a minute. How many band members are in your band?
So we have 13, 14, depends on if we have 3 or 4, 2 or 3 female vocalists. Mm-hmm. But we have a 4-piece horn section. And wow. It's a lot to move around. Not going to lie. It's a lot, a lot of logistics for a tribute band. These guys have jobs, they have lives. Some of them are diehard musicians, and some of them are school teachers that play horns. But they're dedicated to this. We've had the same band. We've made some changes, like I said, but it's 13 to 14 people. And we kind of stick with that because a lot of times people are like, hey, can you come to this venue? The stage is smaller and we can't afford to pay. But if you can come with like 8 people, we could do this. And we just need to be real and authentic to our mission and also to our sound.
Right.
Our goal is to be the most authentic Neil Diamond experience that you can get. There's caricatures of Neil Diamond. There's rock bands that do Neil Diamond, like what's their name? I think they're incredibly wonderful. In fact, they were at Sony Hall. Oh my goodness, it's a rock band. 5 guys do a rock version of Neil Diamond. It's great, and there's other bands that do something like what we do. But the goal is for us to sound this authentically, and also to give that joy, that stage production that really just You're the big Neil Diamond fan. You don't have to be the biggest Neil Diamond fan or not. You can love his live performances and like his music. You don't like me. When I saw him live at Jones Beach all those years ago, it was one of the greatest shows I went to, but I didn't go home and listen to Neil Diamond albums, when I was growing up. You know what I mean? So it's just it's very interesting.
That is. Have you ever gotten any feedback from Neil or his family?
We haven't, and I'm our timing is not really great here in the sense that he's obviously very sick and
Yeah.
he's not able to travel. I've seen him on the Beautiful Noise tour a few times singing Sweet Caroline with the cast. And he doesn't look like he's ready to be traveling. So he has other concerns and other things, and we've prodded very gently through some people that may know him because we just want him to be aware of us. Maybe he can sign a guitar for us to give away at the Greek Theater. We're trying to get him involved at some level. Listen, with total respect, we want to honor his legacy. We want to be gentle with his family. I know it's a difficult time. So we know I've gone through it myself, as I mentioned. So we want to be respectful to it, but we would love to have some type of involvement from his wife, Katie. And I know they have a lot of projects right now. They have A Beautiful Noise touring the world, and they have Song Sung Blue, which is a new movie coming out with Hugh Jackman, which is about Neil Diamond. It's coming out in December. It's a big year for Neil Diamond.
Totally.
The name. So we're
That's
just
awesome.
he hasn't been involved with us. He hasn't seen us because we started when he was already not the most important thing to him.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Gotcha. So your shows transport people back to the magic of Neil's classic stuff, right? How do you balance the authenticity with your own creative journey you want to take these people on?
Yeah, that's a great question, Fran. I will tell you this, and I'm hard on myself. I'm the worst fan or worst critic that you could possibly get. Every show I rip it apart,
Right.
And what I mean by that is that if I remove the technical part of it and all the little things I could have done better, I talk to the crowd afterwards. We always say hello to some people at the end. And one of the things that I hear all the time is people with tears crying, because you got to remember that this is a lot of times there's a son and a daughter taking a parent who's lost their husband or wife.
Right.
And so I had a woman that came to me one time. This was at the Stanley Theater in Utica, and she said to me, "It was ready for this. It was the older lady, the woman, her daughter, her daughter's daughter, and her daughter's daughter. So there were 4 generations.
Wow.
And they were in the front row, and they were singing like crazy the whole time. And afterwards, they waited. We kind of, when we were finished in the back, they wanted to wait and to say hi. So we went out there, and the mother, who had to be in her late 80s, she had tears in her eyes. Strong woman. Don't get me wrong. She was, she wasn't me. She was a very strong woman. And she said, I have to tell you that when you did hello, she said, I used to talk to my husband on the phone when, he was in hospice, and the song Hello,
Yeah.
song. And she said, she was crying when we were playing it, and her daughter said, it meant so much to her. And then other people that are in either a wheelchair, or you could see they're using a cane, and they're up and they're dancing, and it's just, and you can see tears in their eyes, because we want to give them the feeling that they had when they saw Neil Diamond live. Don't ask me why. It is so important to me. There's nothing that I get out of this more than when somebody comes up to me in that age range, and they say, I felt like I did 40 years ago. And they're saying it with this face that's so, thankful. Right. And then, from that to the younger people being like, it was just so much fun, but that's my greatest joy, is bringing that feeling back to people. And always remembered when I saw him is that's what Neil Diamond's magic was. Now, I'm not Neil Diamond, and I don't hold a candle to his capabilities and abilities. This is him. This is his world, his stuff, that we're doing our best job. But it's great joy when we connect with these people for that.
That's awesome, man. So when you're performing some of these shows, this is just some fun stuff. In any, you look around, a bra hits you in the face, or a girdle.
You saying, does it happen? Well,
yeah.
I'm not Tom Jones.
No, I know, but Neil Diamond surely had panties and bras.
Oh, he did. Well, let me be honest with you here, okay? Listen, I've been asked. There was a couple of room keys, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the show. But, But I'm married, happily
Yeah.
married, and
Yeah.
it's flattering. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
the real thing is he is my son. My son is the music director. He plays the guitar and the piano, and they're looking at him, not me.
Right. Right. Because
Oh,
I was
listen,
going to say, you know, there's that famous video of Neil. You know, this lady rushes to the front of the stage and just starts making out with her.
yes, I remember.
Right.
I saw that he was leaning down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was leaning down. Yeah. So there is that. There is that.
Yeah.
Listen, afterwards, especially, you get some squeezes in the.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I got goosed,
Yeah.
so that's kind of new. That's kind of weird and interesting. But you know what? They love it. They had a good time, maybe a couple of drinks. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's all in fun. And it does make you a little bit, it's kind of interesting that sometimes you don't want to go out afterwards. You understand what some of
Yeah.
these big celebrities have to deal with, because who the hell am I? You know what I mean? But it is interesting. It is fun. But my son the girls afterwards go crazy for him. He's a handsome, talented kid.
Right.
My son, he's not a kid anymore, but he has a girlfriend now. So let me just say that he's now
Yeah.
seriously involved. But he does, and even the mothers will come over with their daughters, and they'll be like, "Is he single? Is he single?" So I have to just deal with a lot of that stuff.
Your
And then I have
son, yeah, your son's getting pimped out at
my son, they
a
want me to pimp him out, you know. And then I have my daughter all the way on the other side. She's one of the singers, and she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's funny. Last name is Jacobson. Her last name is no longer Jacobson. And I've been introducing her with the last name. And she came up to me. She goes, "You know that I don't have the same last name as you anymore."
Right.
She said, "My name is Manzella." So I have to go, Kayla Manzella. I have to think about her last name.
Remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's my daughter forever, but her name changed. I have to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. So walk the audience through what a show looks like of yours. Like, we're going to hear all the classics. Like, do you break it down?
Yeah.
Do you dress like them?
Well, what I do is I don't wear the wig. I don't do that. That's what I said. I'm not an impersonator. I just can't do
Right.
that. On my best day, I couldn't even try to do that.
Sure.
What I try to do, believe it or not, is good. The good news is I don't have to try so hard to sound like him. I really don't.
No, you don't.
I don't. Even when I'm doing his music, the inflections of the voice and all this stuff. And I mean, I don't sound exactly like him. I'm me, but I do hear it. I do hear some songs more than others. Sometimes I'll be listening to myself back, and I'm like, who's that? That's me. On certain songs, certain parts. But I don't try. I really don't try. Yes, there's a little bit of, after you listen and listen and listen, I start to maybe alter the way I say a word, the pronunciation of a word, or maybe the rhythm of saying the word, but the pronunciation. But in general, it works. I even forgot your question here because I'm rambling on here. But is that what you would ask me?
Well, I was just talking about what, kind of walk the audience through what they can expect at one of your shows.
Yeah. So we would we always try to like mix things up. Like for the new tour in January, we're going to model it after, Love at the Greek. Love at the Greek was 1976. So after that came The Jazz Singer, Hot August Nights, and some of the biggest stuff that he ever did. So it's Love at the Greek on steroids, Love at the Greek plus.
Okay.
And so we're going to be playing, the big stuff like Love on the Rocks and, Cracklin' Rosie, people don't know, was 1969, which is incredible how long ago that was. But we're going to be playing a lot of the good stuff, the more known stuff from Love at the Greek, and then all the stuff, a lot of the stuff that's known from the albums that came after that. But so what you can expect when you come to one of our shows is energy. Maybe sometimes a little more energy than Neil Diamond did, although, some people say that, but I don't know, because he was up, man. He was pumped and excited. And I took dance lessons, because I wasn't the suavest dancer in the world. Right. And I was kind of criticized by a producer when we first started. And I mean, when we first started, that I was very, I wasn't moving around like he's like almost like an Elvis Presley. And I don't do that Elvis move.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's definitely more dancing involved. It's a little more like what Neil Diamond's, Neil Diamond does certain things.
I need to take dancing lessons because this girl I tried to dance with at a wedding, she goes, "You dance like a 2x4." I'm like, what?
Well, it's solid. At least it's solid.
Exactly. I know. I have no moves. None.
Well, you know what? It's not. Listen, most people don't.
Yeah.
And I have rhythm, thank God, because of music, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
you do too. You're a creative guy in the entertainment in the creative field. But I took a little bit to keep my posture up and to stand. At the
Right.
end, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of a lot of big
The gestures. Yeah.
big chest in the. You know what? And it matters, man. And it was very awkward for me because who stands like that? Who stands like this? Like look, like hello.
Hey, man.
So it was very awkward. But it's. I realized this. I said to myself, it's show business. If you want to be shy, get off the stage. They don't want to
Yeah.
see it. People don't want to see that. They want to
They
see
want
you.
to be entertained.
They
Yeah.
want to be entertained. So I kind of made that turn and let it go a little bit. Sometimes I feel a little goofy, but whatever. But they're going to expect an authentic show, a lot of energy, a couple of screw ups.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed. Some people don't hear it, but we do it. But we're getting better and better. I put a lot of pressure on myself to tell stories in between the songs, not bore people. Give quick things about the song, a little bit of history, when it was written. Back in the what do you call it? Times. Hoppin', bandstand, the American
Oh,
Bandstand.
yeah.
Just bringing people back so they can be like, hey, I remember that. Oh, that song is from that. Why did he write Cracklin' Rosie? What? There's just a lot of great stuff that people really enjoy during the shows. But I don't want to repeat it every show because it's like, hey, he said that last time. So now we're doing 3 years. We're doing the same venues and bigger and other venues, but we want to keep it real, keep it live, and make it better. Even the video production behind us, which my son is involved with, is better and bigger. We want to bring nostalgia. We want to make people feel. That's the key word for us.
Yeah.
Is to feel something.
That's funny, man. It's I used to collect laser discs. You remember those things? Those big movies that are the size of an album.
Actually, I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say that somebody gave me, or I got it at an estate sale, but it was a Neil Diamond Live laser disc.
Wow.
I have a few music ones. Yeah. So you talk about nostalgia.
Yeah.
When the laser disc first came out, and I'm a cinephile, so I was out. My first laser disc I ever got, because there was such a few selection of them, was Quigley Down Under. I don't know if you ever saw that with Tom Selleck and
oh my goodness,
I forget who. Yeah, I was just so old.
Yeah.
And now I'm selling some of these things. So
they have any value?
No, hell no. I mean, brand new wrapped. I just sold one last night. It was a Robert Redford movie, the Sundance
Kid.
Butch Cassidy. Yeah. $14 wrapped. It's brand new, never been opened.
Wow. Well, you know what? Robert Redford just passed away last week.
I know, man. I was good friends with his
stars in that movie, so maybe there's some value there. He was big. He was as big. Talk about Hollywood movie stars of the generation. He's up there, man. He's up there.
He really is. I'm kind of close to one of his daughters, Amy Redford, who now runs Sundance. Yeah. And just hearing some of her stories about her dad, it's just been thrilling.
I just watched the documentary about him. I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was like a 45 minutes to an hour all about his life. And I liked him, man. He was a good guy. He was humble,
environmentalist, like philanthropist as well. Yeah, did a lot for
unbelievable.
the world.
People loved it. And talk about handsome. I mean, break glass handsome. You know what I mean? Having it all going on. That guy really had it all going on.
Yeah.
He lived a good long life. So God bless him.
He made my self-esteem low. Just like good grief. So Jamie was telling me that you're a big car enthusiast.
Yes.
Let's dive into that a little bit. Like what kind of vehicles do you collect, or do you sell and swap, or what do you do?
Well, it started with everything. My father was a car guy. He couldn't really afford much, so we didn't have a car collection. He didn't have anything, but he loved them. He loved them, and he gave me that bug. And my brother, one of my brothers, my other brother couldn't care less. Cars are transportation for him, but my other brother and me are nuts. So when life went on and I was able to buy a car, I bought a car, sold it, and made a couple of bucks on it. And then It wasn't a business for me, that part of it. I did go into the automotive industry for a little bit, but it was more, this became like a passion and a wonderful hobby. So it was American cars, and then it went into European cars. And if I fell in love with Porsche, you know,
Oh, okay.
I fell in love. I took a deep dive. I had a Porsche museum, the history. I did a show called Driven to America. People could find it. It's called DTA, Driven to America. It's on YouTube, and it's I did 3 events with thousands of people and hundreds of cars and big, beautiful.
Interesting.
And it was all about Max Hoffman. Max Hoffman was the gentleman who was in Europe, who came to America from Austria, who brought Porsche here with the Porsche family for the first time. So it's
Right.
the event honors him and what he did for the automotive world. So anyway, it's so Porsche became a really big deal to me, and I collected and I spoke about them, and there was a couple of books written that talked about our event. And I love it to this day. It's one of my greatest. I'm a history guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love things for their history. So it's not just a car.
So how many rides do you have?
It's more than a normal person should. You know,
Like Jay Leno style, or
no, maybe as many Porsches or more than he was. I definitely have more Porsches than Jay Leno because he doesn't have a whole lot. So that's he was more into other stuff, but he wasn't really a big Porsche guy. You know, he did like them. We met him. He was at my place. Jay Leno was at my place on Long Island. Billy Joel, who's that great guitar player? He's a hot rod guy. Billy Joel was around the corner from us, so he brought people in there when they came to town.
Sure.
He used to bring them in to say hi. Who's that guitar player that just died like 2 years ago? Jeff Beck. You know, one of the greatest.
Oh wow, yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, I met him once. Yeah.
You know, big car guy, man, big hot rod guy. So he
really.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Huge.
Wow.
Yeah. Big time. And Billy Joel obviously is nuts about cars, had a big motorcycle museum down the block from our place. So it was a big thing. It was a big lifestyle for me. And I had a couple of companies in the automotive industry that I've sold. One recently I just sold about 7 months ago, which getting rid of that company had given me more time to do this now, which is why this is my
that's the dream right there, man. Build something and flip it, and
we've been blessed, you know, at this point to be able to do this stuff. And now it's time to give back with this Parkinson's, you know, foundation. And you know, the cars have been a joy, you know, sharing it with my son. I have another little guy who's not really into the cars much, but I wish my father was around. That's where this all comes down to.
Yeah.
My father was a nut about cars. And this whole thing now with Parkinson's, with what we're doing with the music and with what I've done with cars, he would have been, forget about it. He would have been over the, you know.
Yeah.
So
I was lucky enough to go to Sammy Hagar's garage when I was living in Northern California, and he's got some crazy cars, man. Yeah.
He's an American hot rod guy too.
Yeah. So he actually, I was there filming a little video spoof of I Can't Drive 55, the song he wrote and performed. Yeah. And if you see the music video, there's a black Ferrari he's driving. And we shot the actual video portion that I shot in that same Ferrari. Like I'm strapped in and he's going 110 miles an hour down the 101 barefoot. Like I was like,
you know the model it was? Because I remember the video. I could see the Ferrari.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Was it a 360?
I have no idea. I'm not a big car dude. Like, especially, I mean, cars about to go through the roof because of some of these tariffs, I think. I know I had to get rid of my car. You know, I had a Range Rover, and it was time to get a new, you know, my lease was up in September of this September. So I think I had 4 or 5 months left on the payments or whatever. Then the tariffs were announced, and I freaked out. I'm like, well, if I don't get a new car now, I'm going to pay $6 to $10 grand more, you know? So it was a big thing, you know? So I got rid of the car.
You went out and got one?
Yeah. I wasn't about to do that. So you know, my payoff on the Range Rover was like $5 grand. So I just paid it off, you know, in lieu of paying another $2,000 to $5,000 extra dollars.
Oh, so you kept that car?
I kept it for a little bit. Yeah. And I returned it.
That's my world. My world is the automotive world. I started a leasing company. You know, that's why you're wondering why is he so interested in my lease?
Yeah. So I leased the Range Rover. I'm leasing I have a 2025 Nissan Rogue.
Okay.
Right. So I kind of downgraded maybe to me, this car drives smoother than the Range Rover did.
Well, listen, there's no bad cars anymore. Everything. You kidding
No.
me? You drive like a Hyundai. It's like driving a beautiful machine today.
I know, man.
Incredible.
It's
I never
really
thought
cool.
I'd say this, but I went to Hertz because I'm in Florida right now, and I went to rent a car, and I was telling them, hey, you got like a Genesis or a Hyundai?
Yeah. Doesn't
never-
matter anymore. Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore. These cars are just as good. They're really incredible. I'm a car guy. It's not just the Porsche and the collector car world. I love cars, and that's why we talk. And I was in the car industry. For many, many years, I was in the retail car industry. I did leasing. I had a partner who actually built the largest credit union leasing company in the world. He still has it. So that's why I'm very interested in when people talk about leasing. It's part of my world.
Yeah, I think I got the shitty end of the stick on this lease. For sure. Living at the time I was in California, so I only got things you can get 10 to 13,000 miles a year. And I financed the lease through Chase, and they're like, that's all they'll give you. They won't go to 15. So I did 10. I'm like, where am I going to go? Dude, I was paying 35 cents a mile after 2 years. So when I turned in I was like,
why did you think you wouldn't be driving being in California where everything is driving?
Well, because my office was only 2 blocks away from my condo.
Right.
So
Okay.
Yeah. But then you start dating and it's like, oh shit, I got to go all the way, up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's a nightmare, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was a fun car to drive, But but
leasing got very weird. Leasing got real. It used to be that when you leased a car, you brought it back at the end of the lease. It was always worth less money than the payout.
Yeah.
But then when the financial crisis happened in 2008, the cars became worth a lot more than the buyout.
During COVID.
And again during COVID.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in the 50 years before that.
No.
So it was nobody knew anything anymore. It was crazy. Everyone feels the same way, that I get ripped off, that I get a good deal. I have to buy now, or I'm never going to get another car again.
Exactly. That's what happened. I panicked. So I went straight.
Yep.
Yeah, I went everywhere. And the dealers were freaking out because the tariffs were announced at the end of March. Then April 5th, they were implemented, right? Yeah. And the dealer obviously just had a baby. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job next week. Like all our shit's at port in China or Japan or the UK or wherever it's from. So I'm like, oh my
the whole
God.
world is nuts. Even the car business is nuts now. The whole everything. There's no certainty in anything. All I can tell you is this, and I told the band this. I said, in the world that we're in, even when we're doing our live shows, and I take a moment to speak to the audience. I said, in this world that we're in today, there's really never an artist in history that I know of, and I mean that. I mean, there's great artists that did great performances, but no one makes you feel away from the world joyful as a Neil Diamond show. It's truly unbelievable, and that's why with the world that we're in today, is what we do is more important and has more impact on people's well-being than you can ever imagine. It is. I see it.
Yeah. So I went with a buddy of mine to the Oklahoma State Fair, where they have all these bands come in from the 80s, 90s or whatnot. We went to go see an old 80s rock band called Quiet Riot and Rat.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And my friend is a drummer in a famous band called Seether. And he just left, I think yesterday, to their first arena tour. And we went to the show, and you would have thought we were 2 16-year-old girls on the front row. We were set. I was hoarse for 2 days. I was like, this is great. So to be transported back like that is just so much fun.
Totally. Man. Yeah. And that's not going to happen. We're living during a time that is, you think about this. The tribute bands right now, it was like this. And it's the one time in this world's existence that tribute bands are so important to us, because these people that they can't really perform anymore at the level, or they can't perform at all. The music that was before them, there was no reason for a tribute band of Duke Ellington and the Platters and stuff like that. It just wasn't a thing. And then when you go forward to this music my son listens to, no one is going to be doing a tribute band to Playboy Carti and Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean?
No, never going to happen.
Well, who knows? But I'm just saying, it is unbelievable. We're in this little window of opportunity that is not going to last. That's why I tell the band, I said, this is going to be a 10-year run. That's going to be insane. Maybe more, but this is so important for us, for this generation, a little bit before me and obviously after me. it's going to be something else, how more important all the time. And they're getting better. The tribute bands are getting better and better and better. I saw Brit Floyd. I almost lost my mind. I saw the Journey one, which was called Voyage. You ever hear Voyage?
Yes, I have.
With Hugo, that guy Hugo, who now is on his own. He's not with them anymore. But I'm telling you right now, I left there. I looked at my son and a couple of people we were with, and I said, we just saw Journey. The guitar player was as good as Neil Sean. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, you know who else? Shit. Man, there was a band. Oh, Foreigner. They're going out as Foreigner, and there's not one original member in that band.
Yeah, that's right.
And they sound exactly like old Foreigner.
Right.
Right.
But they are foreign, isn't there? One person from the band, I think.
No, I mean the guitar player, I think he's got some health issues, so he'll join every now and then. But once he's gone, it's all hired musicians, man, and a wonderful singer.
That gave them the right to call it Foreigner, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Or they're licensing it because I think Earth, Wind, and Fire, they have to license the name from the estate of
Maurice White. And Philip Bailey and those guys.
Yeah,
Maurice
phenomenal.
Did Maurice White die?
He did. Yeah, the singer did. Yeah. So
Maurice White, I'm sorry. And Philip Bailey is.
He's the new singer.
Well, Philip Bailey was with them from the beginning.
Was he?
Philip Bailey is the one that did the Reasons.
Yeah.
The falsetto voice is Philip Bailey. The other voice was Maurice White. I know them. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. What's the bass player's name?
Got me there. That's you. Listen, that's what you do.
Yeah. I interviewed him one time for a film, wonderful person, man, and a monster musician.
Wow, yeah.
So I got a couple of lightning round questions before we go.
All right.
So I'm big into vinyl. I started collecting vinyl during COVID because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
What is the first record you ever bought with your own money?
Ooh, you know what? I think I know that answer.
Yeah.
Because it may not be the first, but it's the first one I remember because I just talked about it the other day or the other week. $1 Million Baby, Alice Cooper.
$1 Billion Babies.
No, million. There was no billion back then.
Well, the name of the album is called $1 Billion Babies.
Is it really?
I'm the biggest Alice Cooper fan.
Well, then you know what? Then I thought maybe inflation. It turned into the green album with the snake skin on it.
Yeah.
It was $1 Billion Baby.
Yeah, $1 Billion Babies.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it wrong.
They put a tariff on it.
Yeah. When you play this back, you could just turn my M into a B.
Exactly. That's great, man. Every song on that album, man. That and Killers.
I loved Alice Cooper. That album was when you open that up and the words were in it. It was great. It was great.
My first record was also an Alice Cooper album, but it was called Love It to Death, and I had 18 on it.
Oh, 18, of course.
Yeah. I'm going to see him October 8th, by the way.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of posts and stuff from him. He's a big Christian now, a big man of God.
He is such a nice guy too, just down to earth.
Everything I've seen of really shows him to be that. Yeah.
I fangirled out on him when I met him. The first time I met him. I've seen him 100 times in concert, but I interviewed him for my film Hired Gun, and when you get so nervous, you get like an upset stomach and hairs, like that whole thing. When I found out he was coming up to the room to be interviewed,
cool.
And he knocks on the door, man. They're all black. He had a little bit of the eyeliner smudge on, and immediately, man, he calmed me down. He was just the most authentic, real. Looked you in the eye. When he's talking to you.
Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. You know what? It's great when you meet someone that you have so much history and respect for, and they actually live up to it. I mean, that's cool because most of the time you don't. Most of the time.
Yeah. Sometimes just they're trying to rush you out or whatever. But I've only met a handful of jerks. I got to introduce you to Ray Parker Jr., guy who wrote Ghostbusters. He is a Porsche.
I know the name.
He's a Porsche freak.
Is he really?
Oh my God, man! He just sold it. Yeah, he sold his catalog, so he got a ton of money, and he bought his dream Porsche, one of those turbo ones with the fin on it. It's $350,000. Oh
wow! Yeah, there's Porsche. The numbers on Porsches. You say 350,000. Most people for a car. Meanwhile,
I'm sure they go up to
tens of millions.
Yeah.
can't even believe the numbers on these Porsches today. I can't even. It's a conversation for another day. It's almost sickening. The numbers.
Yeah. So what's your favorite Porsche you've ever driven or owned?
You know what? I can never answer that question because I'm an air-cooled guy. And what that basically means is in 1998, Porsche had the last car that was air-cooled. And then in 1999, a 996 came out, which was the water-cooled. I'm a real vintage Porsche guy. I had a lot of the older cars. We built them for a while. I had a shop that built them. So believe it or not, my favorite cars I've ever owned were the ones that were built. We're building one right now that, I'll show when it's done. We should stay in touch. You'll love it.
Absolutely.
It's got a 4-liter air-cooled motor. We got the block from Porsche because they had them stocked away in the factory and never sold them. And we bought 4 of them. It's like really cool shit. And the ones we build, I like the cars with a little bit more power than the originally came with, but vintage, but air cooled. But I also love the old 356s, man. I don't like the new cars. Like they mean nothing to me. Like you give me you give me a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or one of those cars, I'll give you the keys right back.
Really?
I have zero interest, and I'm not being like, you like the old cars. You don't want to show. I couldn't care less. Zero interest. When somebody pulls up and says, I admire the craftsmanship. I admire the beauty of it somewhat, but I have no interest in driving the car. There's no soul. There's nothing to it. These older cars. I would rather drive 70 miles an hour and the car is on the edge than drive 130 and say, I need to go faster to feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's just does nothing to me at all. So not even a new sedan. I don't even have a new car. Like I have a Range Rover Sport that I drive with like my daily stuff, but
that was my car. Yeah.
Yeah. But anything other than that, man, my car is maybe 90s, 80s, 2005. I just don't like the new stuff at all because I like to drive. I like to feel the road, and you get nothing in these cars.
Right. Remember the little teeny box car ones, the 911s? Is that what they were?
All 911. The 911s came out in 1965, 1964. And they've been 911s ever since. Tiny cars, but they're different iterations. Now they're big. Now they're big touring cars. There's no little, unfortunately. Even the box.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The little Hot Wheels looking box car looking ones.
Yeah, well, the Boxster. The Boxster is their smallest Porsche, but that car is not even small anymore. But they're cool. They're great cars. But you know what? A Boxster now, if you look at a reasonably equipped Boxster, the car is $80,000 to $110,000. We're talking about their cheapest car, is almost on it's crazy. It's crazy.
Somebody tried to once get me to do a documentary. Was there a rift between Porsche and Ferrari, the families?
That was Ford and Ferrari.
Was it Ford and Ferrari?
Yeah, when they were building the Shelby Cobras, they were racing.
Yeah.
And the movie really talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a big. Oh yeah, Ferrari and Ford were like a war.
I could have swore somebody told me it was also Ferrari and Porsche too. Like
it was Ferrari and Lamborghini because Lamborghini in the movie Lamborghini wanted to partner with Ferrari with Enzo, and they were tractor builders. Lamborghini built tractors. So did Porsche, by the way. I had a Porsche tractor, and he came to Enzo, Lamborghini did, and he said, "Why don't we join forces?" And he said, "Go back to making tractors." And there was so then that's why Lamborghini said, "Oh yeah." And he went and he built a sports car to compete with Ferrari. Right. Ferrari has the lineage with racing, and nobody will ever be like Ferrari. Right. But Lamborghini did a great job in sustaining it and building incredible automobiles. And now they're competitors in a big way. But Ferrari is always, there's no Lamborghini in the F1 races. You know what I mean?
No, there's not. What's funny? We talk about, the journey thing earlier, but Neil Sean was a neighbor of mine when I lived up in Northern California.
Cool.
All he drives is Lamborghinis. In Northern California, it's the Prius or Teslas because they're all vegan, crunchy, tree bark eating, hippies up there. And I just remember walking out of Starbucks one day and I hear this monster come up to the stoplight and I look over, it's Neil Sean. I'm like, holy shit, that's Neil Sean. There was another time, Carlos Santana lived in the neighborhood too. And I was going down just a two-way road, and he was pulling out of like a custom hand wash place to get his car cleaned. It was one of the most beautiful color blues I've ever seen of a Porsche. But he pulls back, windows are tinted. I stopped to let him back out because he was going to come towards me on the other side of the road. So he backs out. I couldn't see who was in the car. He rolls down his window, and I see it's, it's Carlos Santana. I'm like, holy shit. And he stopped and looked at me. He goes, "Be precious, thank you," and drove off. I was like, what a Carlos Santana thing to say,
Yeah, right. Be precious.
Yeah.
And what kind of car was he driving? What was that?
It was some sort of Porsche, but it was like an electric blue, man. It's a blue I've never seen.
A newer car?
No, it was like one of the yeah, it was a newer one. I'm sorry. It was.
They have that's probably Miami blue. It's really bright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
Miami. Their newest color for that is Miami blue, but there's colors called the Riviera and Mexico. Those are the two most beautiful blues they ever made.
Yeah, man. Whatever it was, he had one of them because it was stunning.
Yeah.
What's a song that always gets played that gets you back on stage mentally, even on a rough day?
Neil Diamond was?
Yeah.
You know what? I love singing Coming to America.
Yeah.
It's such a joyous, uplifting song, especially now again, but I love singing that song. But you know what? The song that I really probably enjoy singing the most, and I love so many of them, you think like people say, it's not Sweet Caroline. No.
Yeah.
It's a great, that song is where everyone's eyes pop out, but the cameras come out and all that. But my favorite song, and I watch people's faces, and it's emotional, and it ties people to New York and California, and is I Am, I Said. That's when he wrote the song while he was struggling whether to stay in Los Angeles or go back to New York, and he was trying out for a movie called Lenny, and he was trying out for the part Lenny Bruce, who was a very, very disturbing, depressing character.
Right.
So when he was trying out for this part, he was in his trailer, and he was depressed, and he didn't know if he wanted to be in the movie business, and he was terrible, and he should have been back home in New York. And he wrote this song, and it was the most important song he ever written. And I talk about this during the show, and he did a Barbara Walters special, and he talked about this. So that song evokes emotion in me. I sing it as if I'm, believe it or not, I have a lot in common with Neil Diamond, a little bit of, in a lot of the songs, a lot of things he says. And I can relate to a lot of it. Maybe a lot of us can. So when I sing the songs, I'm coming from a really genuine place, and that's one of them.
No,
and I really
great, man.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It is.
If you could do a duet with any living artist outside of Neil, who would it be and why?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Do I need to even answer that question? Barbara Streisand.
There you go.
Because they did the duet,
Yeah.
You Don't Bring Me Flowers. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? Hey, listen, I'm blessed because I have a girl, a woman, a singer. Her name is Gina Campo. And Gina Campo is incredible. She is my Barbara Streisand. When we do the show, she sings it with me. So no offense to her, because I couldn't ask for anybody better than her. She's fantastic. But, if I can do a duet with Barbara Streisand, who to me is the top two or three female vocalists of all time,
right?
That would be, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
won't be able to hold it together.
Yeah. No, I unbelievable. Yeah. So that was an easy one.
Okay, here you go. Final question before I ask you some follow-up stuff about your organization. One word to describe how you will feel when the lights go down at the Greek Theater in 2026.
Wow. See my face?
Yeah. Joy
and fear beyond belief. I mean, you know what? That's why I told you I can't even. Yeah, I've been in enough performances right now that I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Of being out there in the stage and seeing this, and I'm always a little bit shy. Like I walk out there like, hey, I'm not really Neil, but hello. And I've learned to be out there and be more again show busy.
Right.
And people want it; they want to feel it. So when you get over all that, you get over yourself and you get over that fear, and you're in the moment. I'm opening, that Greek theater, like there's goosebumps don't describe it. Being on that stage that Neil Diamond was at this show 50 years ago, the pressure on us to perform,
Crazy.
the pressure of us to bring these people in. I want a packed house. I need every seat filled. I need the energy to be filled in that place. And there will be fear beyond belief. There will be hyperventilating fear.
Yep.
When I'm sitting on the sidelines, when the band goes out and I'm sitting by myself, I actually have to, in bigger places that we've been to the first time, I actually got to breathe, because
Right.
you can't sing when you're not breathing right. And so I'm picturing that moment, and we have enough experience, and I'm good. I know I'll be fine when I get out there.
Sure.
But it'll be an epic, amazing, incredible, experience. It will.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So lastly, where can people get these tickets for your shows? And even more importantly, where can they go to donate to Parkinson's research for what you're doing?
So the tickets, Ticketmaster, I think all of our tickets, well, not all of them, I shouldn't say that. Pretty much all of our tickets are available on Ticketmaster, but the best way is to go to neilforever.com and go to the tour page, because then you see exactly where they are. There's probably like 8 or 9 shows on there right now for the first few months. And then as it goes, we're going to fill in the year because it's still early. But so if they don't see the city in there, because we're going to be adding Phoenix and all different places in the West Coast also. But neilforever.com, just click on on tours, and that'll see all the dates. And then you click on when the tickets are available, there'll be a button that turns red, and then they can click there. That'll take them to either the venue or it'll take them to Ticketmaster. So Neil Forever is the best place. Neilforever.com is the best place for tickets. It'll take you everywhere you need to go. And then as far as donating to Drive Toward a Cure, if you go to our website, all right, on our homepage, because the homepage actually has Drive Toward a Cure. It's the third banner big on the homepage. You can click on that and it'll go right towards their page. That's a page with the show for the Greek theater. And there's a link to their page to donate.
Beautiful.
So it's all on neilforever.com, and then you can kind of navigate through it and you can get all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, I urge anybody watching this to please go pledge some money or donate some money to this cause. You see your heroes getting this, and it's so sad, that and memory loss. My mother suffers from dementia, so that's a tough one too. So, I know how critical this is. So, yeah. Well, David, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Fran.
And maybe I'll be in LA for the Greek.
It's not that far, Oklahoma.
Yeah, 2 or 3 hour flight, man.
Well, one way or the other, we have to along the trail here meet somehow. So
absolutely. I want to talk to you more about your cars. Maybe we'll do an episode on the cars.
Jamie will give you my contact if you want to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, David, thank you so much, man.
All right, Fred. Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.